Welcome to NYNJPA weather. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. And finally, we have some dry weather and warm weather to talk about. This is our surface map as of 10 a.m. And as you can see, high pressure is pretty much in control throughout much of the northern Mid-Atlantic. We do have a weak cold front moving through the eastern Great Lakes that will move through the northern Mid-Atlantic by tonight. However, this cold front will not have any precipitation with it. It'll just be a wind shift from the northwest, and really it's a marker between the Pacific modified air mass that's over our region right now, which will give us temperatures this afternoon in the mid 60s to possibly a few lower 70s in the Delaware River Valley. And then behind this cold front is a new polar Pacific air mass that will knock our temperatures down into the 30s and 40s for lows tonight, and only allow us to rebound into the upper 50s to mid 60s tomorrow, which will be near normal. But the key here is that high pressure will be in control. So we can expect clear skies for the most part, light winds, and overall very nice weather conditions for this time of year. And we can expect that to continue all the way into Saturday morning. And then unfortunately, there's an area of low pressure that's already developing in the southern plains that will bring us some heavy rain on Saturday night. This is the European model guidance from the Penn State eWall, and what we can see here is that an occluded front will approach the northern Mid-Atlantic on Saturday night. Now, a lot of the model guidance that I'm looking at the mid-levels suggests that what we're dealing with is a very intense band of rainfall that is narrow in nature. So what I'm expecting with the way that the pressure field is setting up, notice how the isobars are tightly packed, is that on Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, clouds will increase, winds will be from the southeast, and those winds will increase at first from 10 to 15 miles per hour on Saturday afternoon, then 15 to 20 miles per hour, and then we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour by Saturday evening and Saturday night. And those winds will have wind gusts that could exceed 50 miles per hour when this heavy rainfall moves through. Now I'm expecting the worst of this rainfall to occur between 10 p.m. Saturday night and 4 a.m. Sunday morning. After 4 a.m. Sunday morning, skies clear rapidly, conditions rapidly improve, and the rest of Sunday is actually looking rather nice. But Saturday night is just going to be a very rough time period to travel, or if you're outdoors or plan on going out on Saturday night, use some caution and be prepared for some very heavy rainfall and some very gusty winds, wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, especially if you get under one of these embedded elevated thunderstorms. I don't expect severe weather in terms of hail or even significant cloud to ground lightning, but what I do expect is some very heavy rain and some very strong winds. So you've been warned. If you have plans on Saturday night, I would use some caution and likely stay indoors. Notice though, by Sunday evening, high pressure is generally in control. We have a weak area of high pressure setting up over the southeastern coastal waters, and as a result we have a nice southwesterly flow into the northern Mid-Atlantic. That will produce clear skies for the most part, as there's going to be a lot of sinking air behind this low pressure system. And also temperatures will generally range in the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, locations like the Hudson Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania, and northern Connecticut, and mid to upper 60s over the rest of the northern Mid-Atlantic. The only location I really expect for really cool conditions where temperatures will struggle around 60 degrees are locations like the South Shore of Long Island, where winds will be coming right off the Atlantic. Otherwise, conditions will be rather nice on Sunday and on Monday, but we're going to keep an eye on this low pressure system that again is developing in the southern plains. I think we're starting to get a theme here. Early next week is going to be defined by where exactly this cold front that we're looking at on Monday evening is going to set up. To the north of this cold front, temperatures will struggle around 60 degrees. Clouds will be overcast, there'll be scattered showers, very raw weather conditions behind and along this cold front. However, to the south of the cold front, weather conditions are going to be absolutely beautiful. Clear skies for the most part, temperatures in the 60s to lower 70s, and for the most part dry conditions because all of the lifting is going to be along and north of this cold front. The question is, where does it set up? For Monday afternoon, the cold front is clearly going to be to the north of the region, and I'm expecting a rather nice day on Monday afternoon. However, on Tuesday, there's a little bit more of a question on exactly where this cold front is going to set up. Some model guidance has the cold front setting up basically just north of Connecticut, cutting back towards the Mohawk River Valley in New York, and then off towards the eastern Great Lakes. Other model guidance, though, has the cold front stalling out somewhere around New York City. I think if you live in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, you can expect a very warm start to this week with generally dry conditions. Could be a few scattered showers here and there every once in a while, but for the most part, the theme will be broken clouds with temperatures in the 60s to possibly lower 70s. However, New York City, that's a little bit more dicey. If you're to the north of this cold front, you are not going to like the weather conditions because it is going to be raw, cloudy, temperatures stuck in the 50s for the most part. However, again, if the cold front is to the north of you, then you can expect similar conditions to what we're going to see in Philadelphia. So we're going to have to keep an eye on exactly where this front sets up. And this is at 850 millibars on Monday evening. And one thing I want to make clear here is that as far as the moisture associated with this frontal boundary, it really isn't all that impressive. Relative humidities of 700 millibars and 850 millibars are around 70%, which supports more of an overcast, drizzly type of weather rather than a heavy downpour and widespread rainfall type setup. So I think what we're dealing with here again is to the north of this cold front is overcast skies and drizzly weather, raw conditions. However, notice to the south of this cold front, 850 millibar temperatures are around 10 degrees Celsius. That means temperatures will likely be pushing into the 70s in some locations. I would not be surprised if portions of the Delaware River Valley see highs around 75 degrees if enough sun breaks out. Now, by Wednesday, this area low pressure that's over the southern plains will track towards the eastern Great Lakes. Again, notice the storm track is now setting up to the north and west of the northern Mid-Atlantic. That means for the most part we're going to be on the warm side of these low pressure systems, which is excellent news if you're looking for much warmer weather conditions. And as far as the potential for warm weather, well, 850 millibars shows us that really the northern Mid-Atlantic is going to be at the heart of this warm pocket of air ahead of this cold front and area low pressure. So what I'm expecting on Wednesday is temperatures to be very warm. I would not be surprised if we push into the 80s once again like we did on Monday. And then there's a potential, once this cold front and low pressure system moves through, for some severe thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We're going to have to watch the timing of this cold front and exactly how the dynamics set up with this cold front. But clearly on the afternoon on Wednesday, temperatures will be very warm. And notice there really isn't much moisture at the mid-levels, so I'm expecting clouds to be rather scattered in nature ahead of this cold front before showers or thunderstorms try to develop. So overall, not a bad start to next week either, with temperatures near to above normal. Again, we're just going to have to keep an eye on exactly where this cold front sets up as we move forward. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day out there.